Peace and Black Power. Welcome to another edition of BABATV, House of Consciousness, in front of the famous Apollo Theater, with none other than the spokesman for the House of Consciousness, Brother Sankofa. Now, Brother Sankofa, I was looking on Facebook, and it looks like you're in demand now. I see flyers up where you're going to be here, where you're going to be there. Talk about where the spokesman is going to be, brother.
Peace and Black Power, first and foremost. I want to send a shout out to the viewership out there for tuning in once again to BABATV, which you know is fire every time. So going right into the things that little projects that I have coming up, or lectures. I like to call them projects, because a project means a plan. I don't like to look at it as just a lecture, as something that you leave, you come feel good about. I mean, you get a lecture at church, you get a lecture anywhere. So technically it's called a lecture, but I like to put it into perspective and look at it as a project. Project meaning plan, project meaning plot, project meaning blueprint. So the things that I'm going to be bringing to the lecture, first one that I have coming up, which is actually, and this is kind of short notice, but me and the brother kind of jumped on it on a whim, and so I guess you can call this a promotion for it, all right? It's going to be called the Identity Crisis. The Identity Crisis. Now, it's not going to just be a lecture just with your brother Sankofa, but it's going to be a panel discussion. So we're going to have some very sharp minds from the conscious community that has been on the field and is respected in their community as well, down in Virginia, Newport News and Hampton, Virginia area. Shout out to my brother Chip for putting this event together, because we're going to attack and deal with very critical and important subject matter, but we're going to deal with identifying problems and also kind of talking about solutions. And not just with one person, it's going to be a panel discussion, so that way you can see a lot of different perspectives and views in a controlled environment, with people who have a genuine concern for the embetterment and empowerment and improvement of the conditions of our people, and who want to sit down for the people to see, for the people to judge, for the people to add on to. We're open to constructive criticism, and we're also open for people to add on and add to information that they may feel might have been devoid in that which we bring forth in that installment, because there will be many more, and we're open for that. This event will also be on pay-per-view. So, you know, at the end of this video, the pay-per-view information upon which you can get that. So if you're not able to attend Virginia, you don't live anywhere near the Virginia area, but you are interested in this dialogue at this event that we're having called the Identity Crisis, which is a panel discussion, okay? You can still be there in the form of pay-per-view. Make sure you definitely have your iPads, whatever tools that you use to take notes with, because your brother Sankofa, I'm not going to just bring that passion and fire like I always bring. I'm going to bring a lot of critical topic and subject matter, things that we definitely need to deal with, and definitely we need to we can't take off the table, and there are going to be some things we may need to discuss if we should take off the table for the best interest of the collective. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, let's look at what identity means first and foremost. An identity could means let me give you the so somebody doesn't say, hey, you didn't dot an I across a T. So therefore, I don't even give a damn about seeing the damn the event that you're planning, because you know how our people are. You know, a lot of us look for little things to disagree with. Okay, so identity defines as the fact of being who or what a person is or a thing is, okay? Or a close affinity and similarity. So identity basically can mean a lot of different things. So when we talk about an identity crisis, I think I don't have to expound on the fact that black folks, we do have an identity crisis. And we have one because of through social engineering, mental conditioning, spiritual enslavement, and many other vices that we have been through and have been conditioned through the annals of the time that we have spent here in the hells and the decadence, okay, of North America. So when we talk about revolution, and we know that the word revolution is a composite word, the word evolution is in there, which means change, evolve. Okay, the only thing that stays the same is change. Okay, so it's a re-evolution, a re-evolving, meaning another change is necessary. Okay, we were conditioned to be the way that we are now. Therefore, an identity crisis is something that we have to talk about. Even though we've talked about it many a times before, we're not having a debate this time about who we are. We're having a discussion upon what we need to do with the identities that we claim to have, and what affinity or common thread do we have that we build upon. Because we're waiting for the collective to all come under the umbrella of one idea, one identity, one belief upon how to do things. We are never, ever gonna get autonomy. We are never, ever gonna see the revolution that we preach and passionately talk and teach about. We are never, ever gonna see the things that we are claiming to sacrifice our lives for. There has to be a common thread. So therefore, the identity is, we're going to talk about different concepts of identity, but we're going to talk about the collective identity. The identity doesn't mean that we have to agree upon a so-called nationality, that we all agree upon that we are, because we're not all one thing. And we've been mixed up, switched up, and fixed up and amalgamated here so much that we're not all just one thing that we were. That is my stance. But we can have an identity or an affinity or things in common along certain lines. I think that we need to talk about the affinity that we have. We have a common enemy. We have common goals and needs, and critically important, okay, that we need to establish as a people for our own self-preservation. That is in the form of identity. Not identity meaning I identify as a Hebrew Israelite. It doesn't mean identity, I identify that I am a Moor. Okay? Identity that I am a RBG. Okay? But the identity that I am attempting to, and I'm going to leave some of this out because I'm going to just trying to get your intellectual palate ready, because I'm going to put it down that day. And I'm going to bring a lot of different dynamics and scenarios and viewpoints that you probably never seen Sankofa's handle exhibited life before. You know, but the people deserve this. And you know, you don't always see me in front of the camera. You know, I'm human. I'm a realist too. I got things going on in life domestically. You know what I'm saying? Just dealing with other issues and developing myself. Self-improvement and self-development. So when I do come before the people in a capacity like I'm doing, which is going to be on February 26th, okay? In Virginia, and all the information will definitely be up on the video. What I plan to do is come there and bring some strategy, okay? We need to talk about strategy and policy when we talk about unity, okay? I always say principled unity. A lot of people know that as one of my most famous punchlines, because we can never say it enough. It has to resonate, it has to be reiterated, and it has to be considered always, okay? So when I say that the principled unity that we need to ponder is because I'm against unprincipled unity and unprincipled collaboration with people who have a romantic and closed-minded or unrealistic view of what liberation is out to be, what it looks like. See, a lot of us, we're afraid and don't really have trust in ourselves that we can pull off a lot of great things on our own. You know, see, a lot of our people being conditioned for so long and under the economic and political foot of, you know, institutional white supremacy and the gatekeepers thereof, many of us are really insecure about the possibilities, okay, about the potential, about the greatness that we can do, the great things that we can pull off, short and long term. I'm going to say it again, short term and long term. A lot of us are really insecure. You have a lot of in the closet pessimists who come out all BG'd up, unked up, and revolutionary to the bone on camera because it's for aesthetics for the camera. But then you have a lot of people who are in a lab studying the art of war on many different levels. You have people who are in the trenches, not just me. I'm not tooting my horn. Sure, I look at myself as a person developing, being, and becoming in this. I'm a Johnny-come-lately in this. I'll humbly say that. But there are a lot of great minds out there who are not on camera. There's a lot of students, okay, and future leaders, okay, and great revolutionaries and social architects amongst us. And I know this because I'm in the lab studying, I'm behind the scenes networking, connecting with people, yes, and even learning from a lot of brothers and sisters, to many extents, way younger than me. See, so now at this event on February 26th down in Virginia, and Virginia has a lot of historic black colleges, okay? HBCs, you know what I'm saying? Historical black colleges and universities. And what we're trying to do is appeal to a lot of the youth that are out there in Virginia, in the Mid-Atlantic region in general, you know, to try to come out that day and come there. Because it's going to be a panel discussion, yes, but it's also going to open critical dialogue that we need to have. Not just a debate, not just a one-man show, a monologue, not just a lecture, but a lot of intelligent minds. Look at it as like a think tank, so to speak, for public viewing, where we sit down and we talk about cross-examining in a respectable, constructive way in a controlled environment, and we really put blueprints on the table. Not all things, because you don't give your enemy everything that you are trying to obtain in real time on camera anyway. But every journey does start with a first step, though. And I believe that this will be a step in the right direction. And we definitely want to reach out to the youth in a lot of the colleges and universities, or community colleges, and people who are in trades, and people, you know, who are taking up things and skills that is going to be something that can be applicable in building, or sitting down, putting together a blueprint to talk about building autonomy in real time, which we can do. A lot of us don't believe that we can do that because we have never dealt with the white man from a position of power. I said a lot of people don't believe that we can do this because we are not used to dealing with the white power structure from a position of power ourselves. So you have a lot of in-the-closet bourgeoisie integrationalists under the auspices of revolutionary nationalists. See, I'm a Pan-African internationalist. But first, we have to start at home. First, we do have to start locally. Brother Dr. Reggie put out a book, which is free to the people, by the way, and you should definitely check this book out. And it is entitled the Black City Sovereignty Plan. Okay, this is free. Now, knowledge freedom is not free, but this time knowledge is free. Now, see, I haven't read the book myself. I'm going to check it out. But I understand from dealing with the brother, him being a personal friend of mine, and just, you know, studying his footnotes, I can understand the gist of where he's going with it. I'm going to dissect it myself. But I want us to start really engaging into studies about what we can do to heal our conditions, to plan for our future, okay, and to make big things happen in real time in this life. Because a lot of us are too caught up with the past, the nostalgia of the past, feeling good about the past, feeling good about our greatness. But if we're God and we're the kings and queens that we are, and we are that, then we can do it again. We can reinvent again. We can revamp ourselves again. And not only that, we can do it a lot better. Do you believe that that is possible? Or is this something that we kick to feel good, and it's a replacement for Christianity feel-goodism for another form of feel-goodism? You know what I mean? Because the whole purpose of this knowledge is for what? Problem solving, problem resolution, elevation, transformation. That's what this is all about. Not just for aesthetics, to sound and feel good and do the one-man monologue on camera. It's not about that. Or to intellectually masturbate in the form of a debate with somebody who you have a difference of ideological viewpoints or methodological viewpoints upon how to bring these things into fruition. So I believe that at this panel discussion, you're going to see a lot of different great perspectives, great minds, of people who are going to respect each other's time and perspectives and views in a controlled environment, in an academic setting, because we're reaching out to a lot of the young college students who are our future, who are taking up trades, engineers, you know what I'm saying? Of all different sorts, you know, scholars of all different perspectives and ideologies and views. You see what I'm saying? These are the people that we're reaching out for, you see? Because the conscious community, I call it the conscious network, but the conscious, until we really build a community, but the conscious community, what we need to do is we need to kind of broaden our scope and do a lot more outreach and connecting, okay, and principled collaboration with a lot of our people who are engaged in halls of Ivy, leagues, that's right, in schools. There's a lot of educated young sisters and brothers out there, about to be doing big things. We don't want them to get caught up in a whirlwind of just this American social order. With these powerful messages that we have, with the technology that we have to do it with the viewership that we get, we should be harnessing that ability to outreach to the youth, those who are our future. And this paradigm shift of consciousness where people are seeking answers because they know something's wrong. People are hungry for revolution. We drop the ball if we don't reach out to the people in academia, our youth, our future, okay? And try to network and collaborate with them on levels that we can. And try to blueprint on levels that we can. Of course, we know we're not going to all agree upon different levels, but there's some level and some degree upon which people will connect and be able to collaborate on. Now, we understand that unity is multifaceted. A lot of times we say unity, I think we have a romantic perspective of what unity is, okay? Now, we talk about national unity, a lot of us, when we talk about unity as a people, I don't intend on seeing that, not to sound like a pessimist, and I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't intend on seeing that in my life anyway. See, you have organizational unity, which is sometimes hard for black folks. We battling along lines of organization, not even along lines of a nation. We have religious, you know what I'm saying, unity, where people are battling along them lines, and there's even divisions and different ramifications within that, okay? We also have unity along so many different groups, movements, okay? But see, those things are subject to, those things are transitory, basically, and subject to change at any given moment. So I don't get too caught up in my group or the my movement thing. But I have to be realistic and say that it may have to start on that level along some lines where we have to identify with commonalities that we have and we come together based on that. Because if we're willing to, if we think we're going to come together and all become one part of a mass movement or a mass collective idea of what our nationality is, we're going to be waiting in vain. And the powers that be that are around us who are blueprinting our demise and accelerating the process of the already blueprinted demise that they do have for us, we're going to be just wallowing in the mire until we are leading ourselves into the slaughter by proxy of the fact that we are not being proactively engaged in offsetting and undermining the opposition that we're dealing with. Because there is an opposition that we're dealing with who don't give a damn about none of the identities that we claim that we have. That is the absolute truth. None of the movements or organization. He just sees you for who you really are, your genetic greatness, your ancestral greatness, and how you're a threat to him because of the power that we harness, that we still underestimate that we have, even though we claim to be conscious. So we need to deal with identity, definitely. But we also need to deal with resolution. Like I said before, revolutionary is one thing to re-evolve. Only thing that stays the same is change. So the revolutionary is to upgrade. You know what I'm saying? Upgrade the change that we're embarking on. But we also need to consider ourselves resolutionaries. We need resolution. We need problem resolution. If our knowledge and our movements, the knowledge that we're infusing ourselves with, the movements that we're becoming a part of, the organizations that we're committing to is not bringing any kind of resolution short term and long term. There is no blueprint for power. There is no think tanks. There is no counterintelligence. And that, yes, right, I said it. They have counterintelligences. We need counterintelligences. Do we really have faith in ourselves? Do we think that the white man is really smarter than us? That he can outthink us? That he can outorganize us? He will always infiltrate? If we think that, with all the eloquence, with all the history, with all the passion and the facade that a lot of people bring to the camera with, then it means nothing. Like I said, it's just for aesthetics. See, I am a firm knower, not just believer, that we have a great divine rendezvous with destiny. Okay? And I will and already have committed my life to that. On whatever level that Brother Sankofa has, because I don't claim to have all the answers. I'm not going to sit here and come before you with an arrogant attitude like my way is the only way in the truth, and I don't want to deal with niggas who ain't dealing with it my way. I'm not going to do that because I see the opposition that we're dealing with. I know who my true enemies are, black and white. but especially the greater enemy with the most resources and the ultimate blue plan to destroy us, I understand who that is. So a lot of times I'm willing to subside with or look away from petty differences that I've had with brothers and sisters if we can come together and identify in this identity crisis that we're having upon things that we need to do, and the ties that bind, we need to strengthen those ties moving forward. Because if not, we are destroying our children's children. When you see the calamities, when you see the nonsense, when you see just the mental decadence that we already see on a higher level in the next 5, 10, 15 years to come, and time flies fast, then we are contributing factors, okay, to that demise. We can't just blame white supremacy if we're not really on our square and we're not doing what we ought to be doing with the right way, using the right tools, and using our greatest resource. That's right, our greatest resource is the youth. Because the youth is going to bring this message into the future as the paradigm shift continues to change, because the only thing that stays the same is change, and be able to add on to it and make it greater and better, and take that which we have as just a vision and dialogues and lectures and make it a manifestable reality in real time, you know? Making us recipients of a brighter and better future with more productivity. So yeah, so as I was saying, man, it's an honor and a privilege to be down there before the people in the community, you know, in one of the most historic places in America, where a lot of things were the first, you know, of the struggles of our people, and even some of the triumphs of our people under this paradigm of white supremacy and oppression. Virginia, I mean, there's a monument there that says 1555. The first slaves landed there.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You know, Nat Turner. You know what I'm saying? Virginia, if you want to look at it from a different perspective, for the people the crooks that came here and stole that land, it was named after Virginia, meaning the word virgin is in there. Virgin, Virginia, and then it's right next to Maryland, Virgin Mary, King James, Jamestown, Virginia, King James. So, you know, there's a lot of history there. But one of the greatest things I want us to take note of, and one of the places I want to visit, because I haven't really been through Virginia, besides vacationing and going to the beach and stuff, maybe at a hotel there and there, but I've never went there on engaging with the people on this level like I'm going there now. This will be a first time for me. Nat Turner, and the historicity of Nat Turner down in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that. A lot of historic black colleges and universities down in Virginia. So not only am I just going there to engage in a critically important dialogue and a panel discussion with the people, okay? But it's also like I'm going to be infused with the energy of the history and connecting with a lot of things that I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, from this level of going down to Virginia. Because I'm going to be out there for the whole weekend. You're going to be a part of that too, right?
I just came from Norfolk. Okay. Shout out to the brother Chip Stacking.
Yeah.
And I met this brother who's bringing our good brother Sankofa down there.
Yeah.
We were in Hampton.
Yeah.
We was in Bad News. We were in Norfolk. And the same thing that Sankofa is saying, the history of just that land. You know what I mean? When you touch it, when you get on that grid, you're going to feel it. You feel what I'm saying? We were received by the people down there. Unfortunately for that event, I'm not going to be able to make it. I have a previous engagement in Atlanta with our brothers, brother Sutek. Shout out to Sutek. We're going to be performing at a charity event.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm going to be there in spirit with you, brother.
Right.
But like you were saying, yes, exactly. Like you were saying, I think ground zero for us at this point is these black colleges.
Thank you.
Bar none. Bar none. Not only because they need us, because they're tuning in.
That's right.
So why not create that bridge with the black student unions who have budgets and they have a purpose? And why watch our people suffer brain drain?
That's
a
right.
whole nother, you know what I mean? We can't, they're using our people against us. So we got to break these chains on their brains, because we even know inside the colleges is white supremacy.
Big time.
Big time. You know what I mean? And we got to disrupt that. So, you know, whatever Sankofa does, I back it 100%. You know what I mean? I know that he's going to go out there and elevate the minds and wake the people up. And truth be told, the streets need our help, man. Out there, that whole Virginia, they are they're putting those brothers and sisters under that white supremacy spell on purpose. Because like he said, you got to go to the head of the snake. And where our history in these lands from, this modern day African American history starts, that's what we should be chipping away at.
I'd like to say also, man, you know what I'm saying, I love this young brother here, young brother. You know what I'm saying? He ain't that old, he young, powerful brother. Me and my brother Nachi Tahuti was down there about 6 years ago at the House of Consciousness. And we went down there, you know what I'm saying, and that's the first time that, you know what I'm saying, that we actually been out of town. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. The people down there were very open. They ready for information. They hungry. You know what I'm saying? Down in the South. And I was in shock because I didn't think people in Virginia, and I was in Norfolk, and I was in Hampton. I went to, you know what I'm saying, Virginia Beach. I was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But I like the mentality of the people. They want to learn. They want to come out of that darkness into the light. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? And y'all got the right brother coming out there to see y'all. I might come with him, depends on my schedule. This to be doing something. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We have to stop playing with our lives. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop playing with this, man. You know what I'm saying? This information is value. You know what I'm saying? You have to value it and you have to execute it. You see, you can read books and watch DVDs, but if you don't take that information and put it inside here, you know what I'm saying, where you're walking it and you're talking it, then it means nothing at the end of the day. We got to do our work. Everybody has to become a teacher, an educator. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have to bring that information, you know what I'm saying, and it have to mean something from you. A lot of people out here talking, but I live it. You know what I'm saying? This brother lives it. This brother lives it, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just talk it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, you're going to get a treat when this young brother comes out to Virginia to give you all this information.
Thank you. And one thing about me and this brother, me and him have a lot of history. Way before, I've been coming around for years. Way before I was in front of the camera, me and you was kicking it and building. I done been out there in Brownsville with you at cookouts, been to your family's house, way back. Like, you know what I mean? So to have elders like yourself, vouch for me is a big thing. Because, some people just pop up on camera and they get caught up on views and they get caught up on that and they do it like they're doing it for TV. I do this because this is in my DNA. This is deeply rooted and within the fiber of my being. This is a part of my bone marrow. You know what I mean? So I'm bringing all that realism with a lot of study and research with, most important of all, a genuine love for the people and a knowledge that we have a divine rendezvous with destiny and a knowledge that we have to connect with our greatest resource. I'm bringing all that infusion of that greatness, the better part of myself, out there to the people. So it's going to be one of the best offerings I've gave before to people. Me and you have done lectures before together out in Connecticut. Shout out to the Galactic Guardians out there in Waterbury, Connecticut. Galactic Guardian 720. The brother will be here in March. Let him know a little bit about that day, huh?
When you come in too, right?
I'm going to be there that day too. Yeah. I'm going to be there. But we've done it before. This wasn't even on video, but we turned it out. Yeah. Shout out to brothers Supernova. We Supernova Sloan. We've done something out there which was the Blood and Crip Unity Challenge. The Blood and Crip Unity Challenge. Very successful. We had Bloods and Crips in the building. We had the community, the conscious community, all infused together. And that brother gave that, oh man, it was powerful. Yeah. And I hope the brothers in Galactic Guardians throw that video up, man. The people definitely need to see there, but I got there to reach the people. So there's a lot of things. The whole point of me saying that is to just, not to just, hey, Sankofa does lectures, but just to let you know there's a lot of things that we do off camera because it's for the love of the people. But this is one that I want the people to tune into. This will be on pay-per-view if you can't make it and you're interested in being, and you should be interested, not just in the drama, and who's beefing about ideology, but who's seriously and critically dialoguing about identity and destiny. Because this is what's important.
This in this 2017 post-Trump era that we're finding ourselves in, this is the idealistic approach that the promoters that are in these different states need to begin to take. Right. If we come out to do an event to your city or your state, and you belong to a state where it is dilapidated or depressed, or you're going through all of the things that the quote-unquote inner city is going, all of the challenges that we're finding ourselves going through, we need to not only just come to do our lectures, but we should be coming with some money to build. I mean, like, we should be able to match something, because I know each one of us, we're ready to invest in we're not just talking about it. So if we come to Virginia, somebody might be like, what's $1,000? Well, $1,000 is something that could get things started. I bring 1,000, you match that. We come with $500. Y'all in y'all city, just match it, because what we could do is we could get keys to a brick and mortar with a few $1,000s or $1,000. We could get, machinery that may be needed to start production, heat press machine, silkscreen machine, vinyl cutter, all of these little things that are going to build up to something big. So when we come back next time, we come from different seasons. We might pop up in the winter, start setting things up, because right now, as we speak, this is your time to do your setup. This is winter season. This is that building stage, because when the summertime and the spring come, that's flexing season. That's when you know what I mean? So then we come back in the summertime, things are now beginning to work cohesively like a well-oiled machine. And then we come back now with the double of the money, because when the people begin to see that, then they begin to invest. Then they get to put their money, even the people in those cities and those places. That's how we're going to bring our people out the church and other places to say real things are being done in these different places where the youth are dying. They killed the 2-year-old on Facebook Live in Chicago yesterday, man. So we got to say, what are we going to do for these teenagers who are more turned up than we are? They want more than what we wanted when we were younger. They willing to do more than what we were doing to get that. Right. So how the hell could we talk about saving the youth if we're not even offering them an option? I got a job for you. Peace, King. I got a facility or institution or a brick and mortar where you could be an apprentice. Little things like that is going to mean a lot in the near future, family. So let's begin to start doing that.
And that's another thing too. You've heard on a lot of good points, and then we did the Blood and Crip Unity Challenge too. Shout out once again to Brother Supernova and the Galactic Guardians down there in Waterbury, Connecticut. When we did that, we had to expound on the fact that we can't just tell the youth that you're doing what's wrong. You need to change. You got to show them what change looks like. And in order to show them what change looks like, you have to have something. You have to have something to facilitate that. Something to really tangibly show that. So unless it's just the kids don't give a damn about the good speeches now. Yeah, they're attracted to the knowledge, but this is, this generation has a lot of dysfunction and nonsense and craziness that we see. This is the generation, there's a lot of realness too. This is the day and age we want to see. We don't just want to hear. So when it sounds good and you attract them, you can do a detrimental thing by destroying their confidence in this, right? By not having anything resource-wise, tangibly, or something that you can say this is what can facilitate you and help you to evolve. You have to show them what change looks like, not just tell them that they need to change. You know what I mean? Which we do need to change, all of us, not just the youth, even us. The only thing that stays the same is change. And we can't get comfortable with little small changes. We have to get uncomfortable with being comfortable under the cushion of white supremacy, okay?
I think it's very important, man, that we show love, too. I think a lot of these children don't see enough love. They see a lot of hate. You know what I'm saying? So when your child comes home and from school, man, give him a hug, man. Tell him, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Spend some time with him. Sit down and talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm a youth counselor, so I deal with a lot of youth. You know what I'm saying? I'm a marriage counselor, so I deal with people having problems within a marriage. I'm also a relationship counselor, so I'm dealing with that element too. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of it, I'm a drug counselor. So our people are suffering from so many different things, and I'm good that, I'm there listening to them by ear. I learned how to be a good listener. See, a lot of people do a lot of talking, but I'm a good listener. So I can detect the problem and then give them a solution to the problem. You know what I'm saying? Black people have a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? That post-traumatic slave syndrome was real. What we went through was real, and it still affects us to this day. That's why we can't sit down together now. because there's so much hatred within. I'm not talking about outwardly, I'm talking about inwardly. You know what I'm saying? That person looking in that mirror don't like himself. That young lady don't like herself. That little boy don't like himself because he's not seeing the mirror inside the environment where he can reflect some positive things. So we have to do that. You know what I'm saying? We have to show and prove. You know what I'm saying? And we have to live this every day. Once you tell your child something, he's looking at you. She's looking at you. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the moves that you're making. So be mindful of things you tell your kids don't do and you do. You have to set the example.
Okay, so, bam, there it is. You heard it from the elders. You heard it from the younger elders, because we're getting up there too, even though I'm still young, the younger elders. And like I said, man, if you're in Virginia, in the Virginia area, you definitely want to get out to this event. It's going to be powerful. This is for us, by us, but it's definitely for you, first and foremost. All right? So we want the community to come out. And not just to listen, because we're going to have the question and answer. We want you to engage. We want you to get participate in this. We won't want this to just be a lecture. We want this to be a start of a movement down there. Anywhere I go and I start to do lectures, I want to start to connect and make brotherhoods, movements, study groups, keeping in touch. Now we just go there and do a lecture, you get paid and you're on to the next city to do the one-man show monologue. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with the one-man show lectures. But I like the fact that this setup, where I don't give it, it could have been supposed to be just me doing a lecture going down there. But I'm glad that the brother set it up the way that it did on a panel discussion. I have my time to speak. And I like this because not only am I going to go speak about what I already know, I'm going able to open mind to learn some new things too that I can add on to what I don't know. And what I already know and fill voids for what I don't know, so to speak. Okay?
Brothers are industrious.
And yes, exactly.
The brothers are industrious already. They have an art gallery inside of a high-ranking mall or something. You know what I mean? Like the brothers have a very, they got their shit together. They doing things in the community. The youth respect the brother Chip Stacking. We was in the hood with him. You know what I mean? We went to the crib and everything. So this ain't about, like Sankofa was saying, this ain't about just popping up for a check. We ain't chasing checks, you know what I mean? Yeah. We want to build brick by brick. It's a grassroots thing at the end of the day, but when all of these ants start coming together, we're going to build this ant farm in a way that you've never seen before. So like the brother said, man, let's just come together with a different mind state of camaraderie, of solutions, of actual, tangible results, not just jaw jacking, gun bumping, and all that other shit, shooting from the hip. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't need to do that right now. We need to work. You know what I mean? So this brother's a strategist. He's coming to a military town. Our brothers and sisters, the people who came out to Norfolk a few weeks ago, a lot of military, but they understood the information that they were receiving because they're strategy minded. You know what I mean? And they have a vantage point as to what's going on that the average brothers and sisters don't have. You feel me? So yeah, support them, all right? And peace to the fam.
All right, so in closing, I just want to say, definitely make sure you're in the building. If you can't be there, definitely try to tune in on this on pay-per-view. This is going to be good. It's going to be major. It's going to be very informative. And like I said, this is just one of many installments. This is not just a lecture or a panel discussion. This right here is a project. It is a blueprint, okay, for the future, okay? It's just one of many installments. And any lecture I go participate in, okay, I don't want it to just, I go give you a good lecture, you feel good. If you just want to feel good, go to church or go to wherever else makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Go listen to some reggae music. I mean, I do it to feel good too. I have my things that I indulge in to feel good, but if you're, and there's nothing wrong with feeling good about strategy too. You can go there and feel good without just being caught up in the emotional or elation of things, and go there and feel good about people being serious, people being on the ground, people blueprinting, wise, intelligent, young, developing people. That is our future, connecting with us, bridging that gap, and really planning for our success. Because if we don't, those who fail to plan to fail. Like the old saying goes, those who fail to plan plan to fail. So it's about planning now. It's about blueprinting. It's about planting the right seeds, cultivating that, and then we can reap the fruits of that which we have cultivated. Okay? Other than that, talk is cheap. It always has been, but not only is it cheap nowadays, it is critically dangerous because our opposition has upped the ante on us. All right? So be in tune. October 26th, Virginia. I mean, I said October. I don't know why my mind shifted to October. We're in February. They ain't even nowhere near us. All right? Excuse me, family. So remember, be tuned, and for February 26th, and this is Black History Month, even though
my birthday.
And this is brother. This is the brother.
Piscean in the house.
Piscean in the building. This is his birthday. A lot of history and Black February, as I like to call it. The same month, Huey P. Newton was born. All right. Okay, it was February 17th. I mean,
Savior's Day was on the 26th.
Savior's Day on the 26th.
Yeah.
February, Black History Month. Carter G. Woodson started Negro History Week in 1926, which eventually evolved into Black History Month, even though we know it's Black 365. That goes without saying. But we want to utilize this to highlight and to bring the people in academia, the people who's paying attention to this month specifically. We definitely want to make a powerful impact in this month with all the other history attached to this month. Outside of it just being called Black History, we want to make history too on February 26th down there in Virginia. So make sure you're there and be a part of this historic event, okay? All right, so stay tuned. Peace and Black power, and most important thing you can do for yourself is to study and apply. Study and apply. That's what the whole point of knowledge is all about. Other than that, it's just feel-good-ism. And once again, nowadays, not only is talk cheap, talk alone is critically dangerous. All right? So let's get this action on and popping. Peace and Black power.